Do you know that most of us have already spent our paycheck before we even see it hit our bank account? Rent, bills, that thing you impulse bought last week or wanted to buy for so long, it's all mentally allocated. You've already spent your money in your mind. What if I told you there's a simple routine you can follow every single payday that could completely change your financial future? And no, you don't need to be a finance expert to do this. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do with your money to build wealth and a secure financial future the moment you get the paycheck. If you're new here, I make videos breaking down finance concepts in a way that actually makes sense. No jargon, no confusing terms, just real practical advice you can use right away. Now, here's the thing. Most people treat their paycheck like a gift card that showed up out of nowhere. They get excited, they spend most of it, and then 2 weeks later, they're eating instant noodles and checking their bank balance every 3 hours, wondering what happened. But people who actually build wealth, they do something completely different. They have a system, a routine they follow every single time they get paid. And today, I'm going to walk you through that exact routine, step by step. If this sounds helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Trust me, this is going to be worth your time. The backwards approach. Let's start with why most people struggle with money in the first place. The average person approaches their finances completely backwards. They pay their bills, buy whatever they want or need, and then try to save whatever's left over at the end of the month. And surprise, surprise, there's never anything left over. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a huge hole in the bottom and then wondering why you can never hold any water. Here's what successful people do differently. They flip this entire process upside down. Instead of saving what's left after spending, they save first and spend what's left. It's called paying yourself first, and it's one of the most powerful concepts in personal finance. Think about it this way. Imagine two people. Person A makes $50,000 a year and consistently saves 10% of it. Person B makes $100,000 a year but spends every single penny. Who do you think is going to be in better shape financially? Person A, hands down. Even though they're earning half as much, they're building wealth because they have a system. Person B is going to be working until they're 80 years old because they never learned to manage what they had. This is the mindset shift you need to make. Your paycheck isn't just money you earn to spend right now, it's your future financial freedom, broken down into monthly installments. Every dollar is a building block that can either help you build wealth or disappear into random purchases you won't even remember next month. Now, let me walk you through the exact routine to follow every time you get paid. Step 1. Know your necessities. The very first thing you need to understand is where your money actually needs to go. And I'm not talking about a vague idea, I mean exact numbers. You need to figure out what percentage of your income goes toward necessities. These are things you literally cannot live without. Housing, food that keeps you alive, basic transportation to get to work, essential utilities like electricity and water, and healthcare. Notice what I didn't include. Your Netflix subscription, your gym membership you haven't used in 3 months, or your daily trip to Starbucks. Those might feel necessary, but they're not required for survival. Here's where most people mess this up. They look at their expenses and convince themselves that everything is a necessity. That expensive car payment becomes essential transportation. The daily Starbucks run becomes necessary fuel for productivity. The weekly dining out become important for mental health. But let's be real for a second. If you're spending more than 60% of your take-home pay on true necessities, one of two things is happening. Either you're living somewhere that's too expensive for your income, or you're calling luxuries necessities because it makes you feel better about your spending. Let me give you a concrete example. Say someone makes $75,000 a year. After taxes, they're bringing home about $4,750 each month. Their rent is $1,800, their car payment is $400, and they spend $500 on groceries. That's $2,700 total, which is about 57% of their take-home pay. That's actually reasonable. But here's where it gets tricky. That same person might also be paying for multiple streaming services, eating out regularly, buying coffee every day, and making tons of small purchases that seem insignificant but add up to hundreds of dollars every month. Suddenly, they feel broke even though their actual necessities are well within budget. The key is being brutally honest with yourself. Your future financial freedom depends on knowing the difference between what you actually need and what you just want. Once you know that necessity percentage, you'll know exactly how much money you have available for everything else. And that's where the real wealth building begins. Step 2, protect your credit. Okay, step 2, make sure you're staying current on all your debt payments. Now, this isn't about paying off all your debt immediately. That's a different conversation. This is about making at least your minimum payments on time every single time. Why? Because your credit score is basically your financial reputation. And that reputation affects almost everything in your financial life. It determines what interest rate you'll pay when you buy a house, whether you can get a decent car loan, and sometimes even whether you can rent an apartment or get certain jobs. Here's something that might shock you. The difference between excellent credit and terrible credit often comes down to just one or two missed payments. If you make 99% of your payments on time, that's considered good. But if you drop to 97%, your credit score tanks dramatically. Think about that. In school, 97% gets you an A+. In the credit world, it labels you as high risk. The credit system is unforgiving, but the rules are simple. Make your minimum payments on time, every time, and your credit score will take care of itself. This step isn't exciting, but it's the foundation everything else gets built on. Step 3, build your emergency fund. All right, step 3 is something most people ignore until it's way too late. Building an emergency fund. I know. Emergency funds sound about as exciting as watching paint dry. But stick with me because this might be the most important part of your entire financial strategy. An emergency fund is exactly what it sounds like. Money you set aside for when life throws you a curveball. And trust me, life loves throwing curveballs. Your car breaks down the day before an important meeting. Your laptop dies right when you need it. Your dog eats something weird and needs emergency vet care. Just regular Tuesday stuff. The goal is to have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up in an account you can access immediately, not invested in the stock market where it might lose value right when you need it, not locked up somewhere you can't touch, just sitting in a boring bank account ready to rescue you when things go wrong. Using our earlier example, if someone's monthly necessities are $2,700, their emergency fund should be somewhere between $8,000 and $16,000. That probably sounds like an impossible amount to save, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck right now. But remember, you're not saving it all at once. You're building it gradually over time. Here's what nobody tells you about emergency funds. They're not just about the money. They're about peace of mind. When you have 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in savings, you sleep differently at night. You walk into work with confidence because you know that if something happens to your job, you won't be panicking next month. Now, here's where people mess this up. They think their emergency fund needs to earn amazing returns, so they invest it in risky things or lock it up where they can't access it quickly. Then, when an actual emergency happens, their money is either worth less than when they started, or they can't get to it without paying penalties. Your emergency fund should be boring and accessible. Put it in a high-yield savings account and call it a day. You're not trying to get rich off your emergency fund. You're trying to stay stable when life gets chaotic. Step 4. Invest for your future. Once your emergency fund is established, you've officially graduated from survival mode to wealth building mode. This is step 4. Investing for your future. If your employer offers any kind of retirement plan with matching contributions, this should be your absolute first priority for investing. Think about it like this. If your boss walked up to you every month and said, "Hey, I'll give you free money if you put some of your own money into a retirement account," you'd think they lost their mind, right? But that's literally what employer matching is. It's free money. Let's say your company matches 3% of your salary and you make $60,000 a year. That means if you contribute $1,800 annually, your employer also contributes $1,800. You just doubled your money instantly. Show me another investment that guarantees a 100% return on day one. You can't. Beyond the employer match, you should aim to invest about 10% of your gross income for retirement. This might sound like a lot, but here's something that'll blow your mind. If someone starts investing $300 a month at age 25 with an average 8% return, they'll have around $1 million by age 65. But if they wait until age 35 to start, they'll only have about $400,000 at retirement. That 10-year delay costs them $600,000. Time is literally money when it comes to investing, and every month you wait is money you're throwing away. Now, here's what's crazy. Most people overthink this so much that they never actually start. They spend months researching the perfect strategy, analyzing different options, trying to outsmart professional investors. The truth is, for most people, a simple diversified index fund that tracks the overall stock market is perfectly fine for building wealth over time. You don't need to pick individual stocks or time the market. You just need to start investing consistently and let compound interest do the work. Step 5. Tackle your debt. Step 5 is paying off debt beyond the minimums. Once you've got retirement investing on autopilot, it's time to knock out any debt that's not your mortgage. There are two popular strategies here, and both work if you stick with them. The first is the avalanche method. You pay off debts with the highest interest rates first. Mathematically, this saves you the most money. The second is the snowball method. You pay off your smallest debts first, regardless of interest rates. This isn't the most financially optimal approach, but it's incredibly motivating because you see debts disappearing quickly, which gives you momentum to keep going. Personally, I prefer the snowball method because personal finance is more about psychology than pure math. If paying off your smallest debt first keeps you motivated, then that's the right strategy for you, even if it costs a few extra dollars in interest. The key is picking one method and sticking with it until all your non-mortgage debt is gone. Don't overthink it, don't switch strategies halfway through, and definitely don't ignore your debt, hoping it'll disappear. After you've handled debt and retirement, you can explore other investment options like Roth retirement accounts or regular brokerage accounts. A Roth is particularly attractive because all your gains grow completely tax-free. You pay taxes on the money now, but when you retire, you won't owe taxes on any of the growth. It's like planting a tree today and never paying taxes on the fruit it produces. Step 6. Automate everything. Now, here's the final step that ties everything together, and this might be the most important one. Automate everything. Here's the thing about willpower. It's like a muscle that gets tired. You might wake up Monday morning feeling motivated to manage your money perfectly, but by Thursday evening, when you're exhausted from work, that motivation is completely gone. You'll look at your bank account and think, I'll move money to savings next week. Spoiler alert. Next week, you'll be even more tired. This is why automation is critical. When your money moves automatically according to your plan, you remove human emotion and laziness from the equation. Your money gets allocated properly whether you're having a good day or a terrible day. Here's how to set this up. When your paycheck hits your checking account, set up automatic transfers to happen a day or two later. A predetermined amount moves to your savings account. From there, other transfers move money to specific goals. Your emergency fund if you're still building it, your investment accounts, maybe a separate account for taxes if you're self-employed. The beauty of this system is that you never have to think about it. You never have to remember. You never have to fight the temptation to spend money that should go toward your future. It just happens automatically. But here's where people mess up. They set up automation and then forget to adjust it when things change. They get a raise but keep saving the same dollar amount. They pay off a debt but forget to redirect that payment toward investments. Don't make this mistake. Review your automation every few months and adjust as your situation changes. So, here's the simple and complete payday routine that can transform your financial life. Let me recap quickly. Step 1. Know exactly what percentage goes to necessities. Step 2. Protect your credit by making payments on time. Step 3. Build that emergency fund for peace of mind. Step 4. Invest for your future starting with employer matches. Step 5. Knock out your debt strategically. Step 6. Automate everything so you actually stick to the plan. This isn't rocket science, but it works because most people never actually follow a system. They treat their paycheck like monopoly money instead of the wealth building tool it really is. Start treating your money with intention. Automate everything. Stick to the plan. And in 5 years, you'll look back amazed at how simple it was while everyone else is still wondering where their money went. If you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more beginner-friendly finance content, and drop a comment below telling me which step you're going to implement first. I'll see you in the next video.